Hello, friends, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. We are at part 3 of the Alice Sin case. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is very strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. On Wednesday night of January 26th of the year 2000, a desecrated, decomposed body was found along Interstate 80, 60 miles away from Reno in Churchill County, Nevada. The woman's body was clad in black pants, was found in an isolated area in the desert, laid in the sand and sagebrush, where it was home to wild animals like bobcats and coyotes. Dental records confirmed that it was forever 21-year-old Alice Sin. She was found 4 miles northeast of the interstate by 2 people looking for mining claims. The forensic evidence suggested that Alice was killed before Raymond got to Nevada. As such, authorities and prosecutors from Pinole, California assumed jurisdiction. Forensics also indicated that she was in the desert for at least a month and was likely killed at or near the spot she was found. The autopsy conducted showed she died of multiple gunshot wounds. Acid was thrown on her face. Her body was partially covered in dirt by wild badgers. After the news of Alice's death broke, people left cards and flowers on her doorstep. The doorstep of the house that Jessica Tang moved into just days after Alice's mysterious disappearance. After Raymond and Jessica lured Alice into the Nevada desert, killed and mutilated her remains, they eloped and got married. They wasted no time moving in together and started getting rid of Alice's belongings. Authorities found bags of her clothes in garbage bags waiting to be disposed of. A neighbor said the couple mostly kept to themselves but were friendly, and when she visited Raymond, he appeared to be in mourning. Quote, "They were genuine tears. I gave him a hug and I got a hug back," end quote. A January 27th of the year 2000 article by the San Francisco Chronicle stated that police were focusing their investigation on their prime suspect, Raymond Wong. He, as you may remember, he was listed as the beneficiary to the $2 million life insurance policy she applied for 2 weeks before going missing. According to court records, in an affidavit filed by the Contra Costa County Superior Court, Sergeant Matthew Carmichael wrote, quote, "It is my opinion Alice Sin has met with foul play and is the victim of a felony crime." End quote. The affidavit also confirmed he had failed a polygraph test. In addition, search and rescue dogs alerted to the scent of human decomposition in the trunk of the car Alice was known to drive. Authorities were unable to find any traces of actual blood in the car. In my opinion, it was probably cleaned up meticulously. Of course, when the SF Chronicle and other news outlets tried to reach out to Raymond, he was unavailable for comment. Although polygraph tests are not always admissible in court, and nor are they 100% reliable, the county inspector in the case stated that Raymond's probability of lying was more than 99%. A January 28, 2000 San Francisco Chronicle article quotes Pinole Police Lieutenant Phil Pollard saying, quote, "This crime is pretty heinous. The body provides us with an immense amount of evidence that may help solve the case," end quote. According to a January 28, 2000 article by the SF Chronicle, quote, "A call to the boyfriend's cellular phone was answered by a man who said the boyfriend doesn't want to talk to the press at the time," end quote. That same article cites Mr. Walson saying that the only time Alice talked to him about ever going to Nevada was when Raymond promised her to take her there to get married. But that never happened. Raymond had actually filed for a temporary restraining order against Mr. Walson to prevent him from going to their home and preventing him and his wife from visiting their grandson. On December 22nd of 1999, Raymond filed that restraining order, alleging that the day before, Mr. Sin had left, quote, threatening messages and posted notes around the house, end quote. Mr. Wasson complained about being prevented from seeing his grandson by the request of Raymond. Even more distraught was he when Raymond disconnected the home phone with Alice's voice on the answering machine. He told the SF Chronicle, quote, "It was my daughter's voice and I missed her. I always dialed that number. I like to listen to her voice. He cut it off and I'm really angry. I really think he did something to Alice, but I have no proof." When Mr. and Mrs. Sin got the news their daughter was found in a way that they did not hope, of course they were devastated. Mr. Sin told the press, quote, "The feeling is really terrible. I can't say what I'm feeling. They came by and told me they found the body. Now I can't feel anything. I'm just feeling very sad about this. I don't know how to say in the right words. We can't do anything. We just hope the police find out who," end quote. According to a January 28th, 2000 article by the Contra Costa Times, Alice's bestie, Mimi Shum, said Raymond called her at 1 a.m. that previous Thursday, saying he was on a business trip to Canada. Mimi got another call from Raymond after Alice's body was found. Mimi told the Contra Costa Times, quote, "He kept saying I didn't do anything. He kept saying he didn't want to come back because he thought he was considered a suspect," end quote. By this time, Mr. and Mrs. Sin were granted temporary custody of their grandson after an emergency family court hearing in Martinez was held. The hearing also enacted court-appointed visitations after the baby was picked up from Raymond's house. Needless to say, Mr. and Mrs. Sin were happy to have their grandson, whom they had little contact with prior to all of this. A week after miserably failing the polygraph test, a medical doctor called the police and told them that he had given Alice a medical exam on October 28th of 1999, about a month before, and it was for the purposes of completing the life insurance policy paperwork. Even though Alice's personal information, including her social security number, were used to take out the $2 million life insurance policy, police were still searching for other information to confirm that she herself had applied for the insurance policy. State Farm was unable to disclose whether or not the insurance policy had been paid out. After Alice's body was recovered, police worked fast and hard to get a warrant. Since Raymond was conveniently out of town, they broke down the door and spent several hours inside. They also impounded his car. Once authorities were inside his home, they found a fucking shitload of atrocious child pee. They also found torture and rape material on his computer. Raymond's defense team tried to argue that the material did not belong to him, and because he worked in tech, the computer belonged to one of his clients. This was easily disproven by police when they found evidence on the computer that it did indeed belong to him. He was charged and convicted for these nasty proclivities and was supposed to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Because police was taking out of state, the FBI got involved in the investigation. On March of 2000, on what would have been Alice's 22nd birthday, friends and family gathered at the Albert Brown Mortuary in Oakland to remember her as the, quote, perky, compassionate, and musical woman who died much too young and much too violently, end quote.